This is my first payout as a funded trader. It was a grand total of $1,148.54. It's not life-changing money. That's not the point, but it just proved that I have proof of concept now and my system works. It wasn't clean, it wasn't quick, but I want to be real about it, and I'm going to tell you guys how I got here. I have been trading now for close to 2 years. During those 2 years, I have blown 6 evals. I have blown 1 funded account, and on the 8th try, I have passed my eval and I got my first payout. Before I started trading, I thought that if I took a lot of time before getting my first eval, I would get used to how it worked. And in my mind, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna take 6 months before I get my first actual eval, and I'm gonna pass the first try, and then I'm gonna make money. Be up at 9:30 every morning, but if you don't know what the fuck you're looking at and what you need to do, it's worthless. Did I ever think I would make it? Absolutely, I did. But does that mean I never doubted myself 1 second about this whole thing? Of course I did. That's normal. You're humans. We have emotions. But you've gotta push through those boundaries so you can become someone. Let me give you guys an example, all right? This was me a couple days ago. I made a reel on backtesting at 11 p.m., all right? And I just done 2 hours. This is not to boast, guys, but this just shows you that you have to put grind behind the scenes when nobody's watching you. All right, because that's where you put the repetitions in. That's where you learn your process, your system. You get used to it. It has to become second nature. I took stupid losses. You're going to take stupid losses. You have to be able to own them. Accountability is key in trading. If you don't accept that you fucked up, no one else but you is to blame. There were days where I felt like it wasn't going to work. I had a mental toll. I couldn't even get a fucking win. I could not even get a win. You guys understand how crazy that is? I'm at my first payout now, all right? And thank God, this was probably my best month, all right? But there was a point where I couldn't even get a single win, let alone a payout. I couldn't even think of a payout. I had to fucking think about passing the eval first, nonetheless getting a win. But it's all part of the process, guys. I told myself, oh, I'm gonna start posting, all right? I'm gonna keep myself accountable. At first I was getting views, and then randomly I just get a YouTube video with no views or less than 3 views. All right, that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. All right, that just means you have to change something up because something's not working. All right, and that's totally fine because we're not all perfect. You learn to become someone. All right, you learn to be good at something. All right, it's the same thing as trading. All right, I wasn't good with the social media shit, and I'm not even close to being good. But you've got to be accepting towards the part that you're going to make mistakes. It's going to take repetitions, and then you're going to be good at something. There was just one point in my trading journey. This was probably the lowest point. I could not trade for 6 months because where I live, there was a platform issue where I just could not trade, all right? Now, for 6 months, I could not trade. 6 months, all right? I could not trade. I tried to be up at 9:30 every morning to look at the charts, but I couldn't trade. So I was giving myself every single excuse just to not hop on so I wouldn't prove myself wrong. I did not want to prove myself wrong. I couldn't even trade. I didn't want to get on the markets at 9:30. I would tell myself, the 4 hour is too choppy. There's news. The hourly is shit. The 15-minute is shit. You could trade. I could trade. But I just didn't want to get on. Hypothetically, forward test to trade. And it proves me wrong. And then I just go on and fucking underlying circle of deep depression. It's scary, guys. You guys have got to accept that part. But if you guys want to become someone and make trading this whole thing, you guys have got to accept, I'm going to preface this again. Mistakes are going to happen. You're going to lose shit. But it's what you learn off of those mistakes that make you someone. So this is a trade that got me my payout, all right? I was targeting Asia highs, but I closed at the break-even high only because I got my amount needed for my payout. Discipline over greed, guys. I'm gonna preface this. This is very important. Discipline over greed. You become greedy in trading, it'll show. You're not gonna be able to get a win. You're gonna keep losing. You're gonna lose accounts. You're gonna lose eval. If you need one more winning day, then you're gonna end up going on this deep underlying circle of, oh shit, I'm just gonna close it and then get $10 and then get out. And then at the end of the day, you're down $1,000 where you only needed $10. You could have waited a day. But no, you wanted to go and get it today. Just to close this, my whole point here is to that person that's watching this, still going after their first payout. If you're putting the hours in, if you're putting the repetitions in, even if you're losing, there's going to come a time where you're going to get it. Trust me, I know this. It took me close to 20 months to get my first payout. I know people that got their first payout in 3 months. I was talking to someone, he got it in 3 months. You know how crazy that is? Even when he told me, I did not feel shit about myself. Because that 3 months, I'm telling you, I am a better trader than that guy. And I know it. And I was fine with that part. It was so weird. At the start, if you told me like a year through that the guy that just traded for a month already got a payout and I was still trying to pass an eval, I would have been like, what the fuck? This is not fair. Life is not fair, all right? Not every person that works hard is going to become successful. But every person that became successful worked hard. Getting a payout is not the finish line. It is just step one. Now, at this point in time, I got my payout. What am I going to do next? I'm going to pass more evals. That doesn't mean that I'm going to fucking get 10 accounts, try to pass them all. No. I told myself at the beginning, this is a slow process, all right? I have proof of concept now. I told you guys what the amount that I made. Now it's just time to become a little bit more, slowly but surely, take a couple steps more. I'm going to pass 2 more evals this week, God willing. And then I'm going to have 3 qualified accounts. I'm going to try to get payouts on all 3 of them, copy trade them. And once I get there, I'm going to put 2 more accounts. I'm going to have 5 accounts. And then you do the same thing. Slowly but surely. The point is not to make one big jump. It is to slowly make baby steps, all right? It is not something to be embarrassed about. Baby steps are key. Because you slowly prove to yourself that you can do it. And that's what I'm going to do next, all right? To close this video, all right? It's not because something works for me that it has to work for you. And same thing goes the other way around. Something that could work for you does not mean that it's going to work for me, all right? Discipline is key. Take accountability. Own your mistakes. And you will go further than you ever thought.